Hello.
Hello, Dan. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks, Alex. How are you?
Awesome. Yeah, not too bad. Pretty damn excited, as you can imagine. Ready for the nominations?
Yeah, it's got to be almost a year since we did any kind of like live stream, right?
I think it probably has been about a year, if I'm honest. Yeah, and we are literally a month away now until the actual awards itself, right?
A month to the day, yeah, 21st of February
Ooh.
at 8 p.m. So, wow,
We're
it's
literally.
like it was planned that way.
Do you see someone's already noticed the Cult of the Lamb? There
Oh
it is.
yeah, absolutely.
Right there. It's like a guess what you can spot type thing going on right here.
Yeah. No hints or anything as to what's about to be announced. Just
No.
pure coincidence.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hello to everyone who's joined us. It's great to see you all again. Like I said, it's been a good while. And should we just get straight into it, or is there anything you want to say sort of ahead?
Yeah. So I mean, obviously the exhibition side of the awards as well is coming on, and it's going to be amazing this year. Not that it wasn't the first time round, but it's going to be really
time to prepare this time.
Correct. Yeah, we've had a lot of time to think of like little bits and pieces that we could kind of tweak, and yeah, I think, like I say, it is going to be the best to date. I mean, yeah, it's only the second one, but you know, it's going to just form what it's going to form, and it's going to be amazing. But you know, we've already got a great lineup of exhibitors, which is good. And to be fair, that list is still growing. So yeah,
we set our limit, and then we just go, you know what, one more.
Correct. It's exactly that. People just keep saying, "Hey, can we be part of this?" And we're like, "Yeah, absolutely. Come and join us." Anyway, sorry, Dan, you carry on.
No, that's absolutely right. But yeah, just to summarize, same as last year, we've got the Metronome in Nottingham, 21st of February. A couple weeks later than last time. We thought it might be good to have a bit more time to prepare and put those what's the words? Put those nominations together with a bit more time, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So I should mention something which is new this time, and we've not actually spoken about yet, is we have a sponsor. We've officially got our sponsor sorted out, and it really couldn't be better. It's the wonderful folks at Game Maker who just happened to be in the chat.
Absolutely. I mean, the event couldn't be what we want it to be without Game Maker for sure. So yeah, we thank them massively. So yeah.
And for those who are unaware, Game Maker are, I think the best way of describing it is they're basically a game engine. And if you're interested in checking out what they do and what they can offer to those who are looking to make games with minimal effort, it's gamemaker.io. But
absolutely,
much more from them shortly.
Awesome.
At the moment, it's all about the nominees. So I tell you what, let's go straight into it.
Let's do it.
We've got 18 categories which are being voted on, and then there's 3 extra categories which are being chosen.
Yes.
No nominees. So here we go.
What is the first one? Let's have a look. Ooh.
So it's the award for mental health.
Fantastic.
One of my favorite categories last time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just like last time, we have got 6 nominees per category. The first one is, award for mental health.
Awesome. So I'll Be Brave Tomorrow. Back then, Spirit City, Lo-fi. Is it Lo-fi? Lo-fi. Sorry, Lo-fi. Lo-fi sessions. Spiral, The Hole, and The Bear. Story from the world of Gra. Okay, interesting. That's a good lineup. That is a good lineup.
Yeah, some super interesting stuff there. What's quite nice is that some of these we've actually seen in person over the last couple of years, and they're now at the point where they've been released and people can check them out. I remember seeing I'll Be Brave Tomorrow maybe over a year ago, actually. No,
Yeah, I think it was EGX, and I'm pretty sure they're even at the last Insomnia. Am I correct in saying that?
I do believe you're correct.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were there as well. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
A good lineup there for sure.
So up next, continuing with the theme, we have the award for accessibility.
Awesome.
So we've got Botany Manor, LC, Season Spreet, Myth-Wrecked Ambrosia Island, Pine Hearts, and Another Crab's Treasure.
That's amazing. Another fantastic lineup.
I've got to say, I've checked all of these games out, and they are all fantastic. And I do not envy the job of those who have to choose the winner.
Oh, absolutely. That's the thing about awards, right? You know, obviously. So you might want to actually explain, how does the whole panel process start? So how you know, who chooses the winners? Who, you know, what goes into that?
So the process, wow, it's quite a lengthy process actually. Well, it basically starts with us opening up nominations. So those who make the game or do PR for the game, publish, whatever, they can submit their own games to us, depending on the category. Some of the categories are public submission, but either way, the game gets submitted to us, and it goes through I would say like a 3-step process.
Okay.
The first step is eligibility, which is basically us looking at it and saying, does this meet the requirements? The requirements pretty much are, has it actually been released yet?
Right.
We don't really look too much into the content of the game at this stage. It's more on a technical level. Was it actually released?
Yeah.
Is it early access or not? Because we don't consider an early access game to be released. That's why we have the most anticipated category. But yeah, once it's gone through that process, it goes to shortlisting, which is our panel, which they basically go through the games and they say, okay, this is our top 6. And then that leads us to where we are right now with our top 6 games for each category. After this, it goes to the a different panel, a larger panel, who basically decide the overall winner. And now that is without doubt the hardest part of the process. Yeah. Basically, the keys get distributed to every panel member, and they all come back to us with their ratings out of 10, and then they all basically just get added up, divided by the number of panel members, and then we have our number.
Ooh.
So it's a bit like having 10 different reviews, kind of.
Yes.
Situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And how many? Actually, no. Continue. Oh, I have got another question in a minute, but let's continue on.
Yeah. No, that's it. Really, that's the process.
Awesome.
We're going to move on to the next slide.
Best soundtrack.
Best soundtrack. Now, this is a category that I was really excited about, actually, because last year we had some really, really great stuff. And this time we had even more submissions. I'll be honest, this was the hardest one to whittle down to 6, because you can't just listen to one track from a soundtrack. You've pretty much got to listen to the whole thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Maybe I can go into more about that shortly. But yeah, we've got Yellow Taxi Goes Room, which has a typo, and we're going to pretend that that's not there.
Let's pretend that's an M and not an N.
Yeah. We've got Drug Dealer Simulator 2.
Ooh.
Myth-Wrecked Ambrosia Island, Gatekeeper, A Park Full of Cats, and Turbo Kid. These all have fantastic soundtracks, and I highly recommend checking them all out, to be honest. A lot of them are available on streaming.
Are we talking Spotify, right? I assume.
Yeah, a lot of these are on Spotify. I think Yellow Taxi Goes Room might actually be on YouTube even.
Oh, really? Right. Okay.
Yeah, some of them are.
That's awesome.
Yeah, check those out for sure.
A Park Full of Cats, though, for sure is.
Yeah,
I love cats. So
Yes, that's from a developer called DevCats. They do basically a bunch of cat games, and the majority of them are free.
amazing. So we're now on to best sound design.
Best sound design, yeah, slightly
Awesome.
related.
Yes.
We've got Botany Manor, Hollow Body, Linked, Banner of the Spark, Solara 1, Still Wakes the Deep, and The Operator.
Ooh. Still Wakes the Deep. It's a juicy game.
It is. It's probably one of the bigger games on here.
Yes, absolutely. And I can see a VR title there as well. Solara 1 by the looks of it.
And for those interested, the Turbo Kid theme is available on our YouTube channel.
There you go.
So, yeah,
Amazing.
go and check that out.
That's awesome. Like you said, they are, I guess, best soundtrack and then best sound design. Like you said, they're going to be very close, but they are different. So that's why we've got the two different categories.
Yes, and we may even have another slightly related category.
Awesome.
Which is the best voice acting.
Fantastic.
This is one that we didn't announce. This was not one that you could submit yourself to.
Okay.
This is one that our shortlisters went through the entire list of games that were submitted, and they decided that these are the ones with the best voice acting. So yeah, could be a little bit of a surprise to a few people that this is there, but these are all absolutely fantastic. And again, I recommend them, and that's going to be a theme throughout. Basically, if they're shortlisted, it's a recommendation.
They're games you want to check out,
no matter
right?
what the ultimate outcome, these are all fantastic games.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yes, 1000X Resist, which is very, 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 very interesting game. Great soundtrack, best voice, great voice acting, gameplay, graphics. The whole thing is just a treat for the senses.
That really should be a tagline. I feel like we need to use that somewhere. A treat for the senses.
Absolutely. So Closer the Distance, Farewell North, which I actually got pretty addicted to whilst playing. That's one that I'm going to probably continue playing after this whole process. We've got Still Wakes the Deep, which again, fantastic. The Holy Gosh Darn, which was a bit of a surprise to me. It was new to me coming into this process, and ended up really, really liking it. And I kind of said to myself and to the rest of the team, you know, this has got some really great voice acting. This absolutely needs to be showcased, because it's kind of come out of nowhere for a few people, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, to be fair, until I've seen it obviously nominated here, I've not even heard of it, so that should be
That's why we do what we do, because not everyone is going to have heard of every game.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So, category 6, best art direction. And a couple of surprises here too, I think.
Yeah.
So we've got the first one. Now, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce this, because it could be like hash or pound.
That's a good point, actually.
Or just blood. I'm not
hash
sure.
Blood, pound blood, or just blood, yeah. It's possible. Yeah, I'm not sure.
But it's fantastic.
Yes.
If you're a fan of sort of like, I want to say the late 90s, early 2000s Cartoon Network, Jendi Tartovsky, I think is the chap's name. We're talking Powerpuff Girls, we're talking Dexter's Lab, that sort of style of animation. It's got that vibe.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm a big fan of that visually. And it is in best art direction.
Awesome.
Harold Halibut, another fantastic title. I think the best way of describing this is claymation, kind of.
Okay.
You'll see. Look it up. Puzzles for Clef, another hand drawn title. Really, really fun. Shim, which is certainly has its art style. Sorry, We're Closed, with the pinkest demon you've ever seen. And Yellow Taxi Goes Room, which we actually, I'm pretty sure it was issue 1 that we did a little feature on that.
Yeah.
So 2 years later, it's now out, and you can play it, and comes highly recommended.
And I think that's the thing with all of these nominations for all the different categories so far is each title is so very different, which makes it that much more interesting, because it's good to see. This is the thing with indie games, is it almost feels like, because with big AAA studios, let's say, is it just feels like you're kind of pigeonholed into one direction, whereas indie is kind of, what do you want to create? And obviously this is the creations from all of these different development teams and all that, but that's the thing that, obviously I think we all collectively here love about indie games, right?
Exactly. That's why we do it.
Absolutely.
So we have a clarification here, Mr. John Riggs. It's pronounced #blood, according to the trailer.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That does make sense. I mean, pound blood, maybe not.
No, but we have it there.
Absolutely.
Also notable, Judero is a notable game in this category too. Yeah,
that's true.
I will admit that was definitely close. Definitely close.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, there can only be 6.
Absolutely.
So moving swiftly on.
Ooh, best gameplay.
And this is really what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
You can have the best, most fancy graphics. If the gameplay isn't there,
then you don't have a game, really, do you?
No.
You know.
So we've got Arco. We've got Buckshot Roulette. Drover Forsaken Kin. Gory Cuddly Carnage. Shady Night. And Shapes 2 with a Z.
Ooh.
Z is very important.
What is Shapes 2 then? Because again, that's a new one on me.
I've not personally played it.
Okay.
The panel have played it, but I've not played that one.
Okay.
I will. I've actually made the decision to play every single one of these games. I'm hoping to play every game that was submitted too, but that's thousands.
That is a lot of gameplay.
I want to give them about an hour each, so I mean, maybe it'll take me the whole year, but I'll get through them all.
Fantastic.
So there we go. It is a technical engineering puzzler.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
That'll
be good
sense.
to check out. Yeah.
And there we go. Nottingham, here we come.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it. Okay, let's go. Best narrative. So that's story, basically.
Yes.
1000 X Resist, or 1000 X Resist again. Closer the Distance. Copycat. Farewell North. Mouth Washing. And Two Falls.
Closer the Distance looks it looks like it's going to be quite an emotional tale just from that one image.
Yes. Oh, it is.
I was going to say.
Most of these will get the emotions going.
Are we talking tearjerkers? We talking every type of emotion with most of these?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some tears.
Okay.
I don't want to give too much away, spoilers, but
yeah, get the tissues out basically.
Yeah, these were all chosen for their the effect that the story will have on you.
Awesome, fantastic. That's a great lineup.
Yeah. So number 9,
Ooh.
Best VR game.
Fantastic.
Some have said that there aren't many VR games in the indie space. Not true. Quite a few. So many that we've got 6 here. Airspace Defender is a kind of mixed reality game where you're kind of sending missiles off and protecting your airspace, funny enough.
Okay.
But as you can see from the screenshot there, it's based in the real world. So it uses the cameras to overlay the graphics onto the real world.
Oh, like augmented reality type.
Exactly. Mixed reality, augmented reality.
Yeah.
Pick your poison.
Mm-hmm.
Arcade Paradise VR is the original Arcade Paradise was actually one of my favorite games of a couple of years ago. So this is the VR version, and it's basically you inherit a laundrette or a laundromat, and it's your job to take that and turn it into an arcade. Well, I guess it's more you've decided as the
the landlord.
You've inherited it from I think like it's a family business, and you've decided I don't want a laundromat, I want an arcade, which is exactly what I would probably do.
I think we all would, wouldn't we?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the general gist of that.
Yeah.
We've got Dig VR, which is basically you're piloting a digger.
No, well, I can imagine that's quite fun, to be fair.
Yeah, why not? And
That's
it kind of
amazing.
makes sense because you're sat there in a seat in the real world. You're also in a seat in the game, right? So it's got this. The controls feel quite
natural, I guess.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense.
On Point, which is quite similar to. There was an arcade game called Point Blank.
Oh yes, of course. I was about to say
maybe mid-90s.
Yeah,
it's kind of got that vibe.
And I'm wondering if it was inspired by that with a name like On Point.
I suspect so.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to put words in their mouth, but it feels that.
It just from that alone, the name and the kind of the art style, it looks made very similar.
Absolutely,
that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing.
No. Solara 1, which Nick had great fun with the other day.
Amazing.
Walltown Wonders, which the screenshot here perhaps doesn't give it away exactly, but it's essentially another augmented reality game where there are these worlds which live inside your walls.
Okay.
Yeah,
that is interesting.
You point your headset at the wall, and the wall has this world inside it.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so that's pretty unique.
Yeah,
pretty unique. So that one had to go there.
Absolutely.
So we do have a question. You can probably see the question.
Is this will there be Antstream Arcade like last year? Possibly. We're trying to put the signature on the dotted line, so to speak. Yeah. We believe
we're not ready to confirm.
Yes, exactly. There's still a lot that is going on in regards to confirmations and all that sort of stuff. It always happens with events, all pretty much up until maybe a day or two before. So not everything is kind of 100% confirmed. It's just there's a lot going on, and I mean a lot going on.
Now, what I will say is we plan to do this stream every week leading up to the awards.
Yeah,
and we will be leaking a little bit more information on
a
weekly basis.
Yeah, exactly. And
you've got a few announcements planned which we've not even hinted at yet.
Exactly. Yes. So I don't think that quite answers this question, but maybe does.
Maybe. So there we go.
Ooh,
a new category for this year: Best UK Indie.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, how on earth you cut that down, or the team collectively, I should say, have cut that down to just 6 is, that's unbelievable.
Not easy, because there's a lot of UK indies.
Yeah, absolutely. Real big, good selection there. So we obviously got Crow Country, Mythwrecked, Paper Trail, Social Soccer 25, Sorry We're Closed, and Valley Peaks. Yeah, I think we'd probably all be hard pressed to choose one there as being the best, but yeah, that's a really, really good lineup. Yeah, really good
everything is
lineup.
subjective, of course, but
Absolutely. Yeah,
these are all
absolutely.
fantastic games. Crow Country is very, very cool. If you're into PS1 horror games, PlayStation, that will massively appeal to you.
I am, and I still have not played it. And I am gutted. But
well, we will have to rectify that, won't we, Alex?
Yes, we will.
Social Soccer 25.
Yes.
Interestingly, from the same creator as Sensible Soccer.
Absolutely. I did have Sensible Soccer on my desk earlier, but that's now
John Hare, I believe.
Yes.
So that's an interesting point.
That's an interesting return back to development. I don't know if he had any sort of, obviously going from the time of Sensible Soccer, all that sort of stuff. I'm assuming there was a time where he wasn't necessarily doing as much development as he is now. Do you know is this a return for him, or? I'm not too sure.
I mean, it's a return to the aforementioned soccer franchise in spirit, at least.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll have to get hold of him and ask him.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a feature in it.
Interesting.
I want Socially Awkward Soccer, just a VR game where you have to fall and pretend your leg is broken. I mean, that's just normal football, right?
That's football all over. That's amazing.
Next is the Innovation and Creativity Award, which is where the games which are doing something a little bit different go.
Yes.
So we've got a Ranger, a role puzzling adventure, which is a bit of a tongue twister. Very, very hard to explain. I actually spent quite a bit of time playing this earlier today.
Okay.
It is one that whilst I was putting these graphics together, I thought that's really interesting. Essentially, it's grid based, and you move left to right, but the way that you move is that you're moving the platform that you're on.
Okay.
Kind of like a slot machine. The whole thing moves down.
Yes, yeah.
It's one that you kind of have to see in video.
Yeah.
To really understand what's going on. Death of the Retrobate, which is paintings that have been cut up and a game has been made out of them.
That is the best explanation
ever. I was trying to find a better way to describe it, but that's pretty much exactly what it is.
That's great. No, it's very different, right? And again, this is what they're all trying to do something different. And, I like
that. Harold Halibut, which again, stop motion kind of vibes. Paper Trail. What makes Paper Trail so interesting, by the way, is the fact that the world is paper. And the puzzles are completed by folding the screen, essentially. So the screen can be folded from each edge, and it will change what the main character is able to walk on.
That's
again
amazing.
One that's best seen in video or in demo form.
Yeah.
Rusty's Retirement, which is very, very weird in a good way. So it basically, the game plays on your desktop, on like your Windows desktop. So you can see there, that is a Windows desktop with the Windows XP background. And the game plays just in the lower third of the screen.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. That's strange.
That's different. I like that.
But yeah, very cool.
Very cool.
And then, of course, Shim.
Of course.
Next up is physical release of the year.
Here we go.
We always felt that physical releases don't get enough attention.
I'd agree.
So
yeah.
This is what we're doing. So A Little to the Left, Extra Tidy Edition, Cassette Beasts Deluxe Edition, Escape Team, Inspector Waffles Early Days, which has a 8-bit vibes.
Yeah, I like that.
Plate Up
Oh,
and Ved.
what is Ved? I'm just again. That's a new one to me. Ved.
It looks like the artwork from a ZX Spectrum game, doesn't it?
I was literally just about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got those vibes.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know much about Ved.
Mm-hmm.
I have to admit.
I really like the look of that. That looks
Someone, well, quite a few people really liked it.
good. Yes.
13, Free Play Awards. So these are games which are completely free. They won't cost you a penny. No DLC. No tricks.
No hidden charges.
No hidden charges. Just straight up free games.
Some good old gaming.
So we've got Park Full of Cats. Color Coordination, all one word. Feud. Pixelitos. Please touch the artwork. 2.
Great name.
And Project Shoreline.
Oh,
So these you can literally just go and download it and play them now.
fantastic.
Simple. This is always a fun category, the Retro World Award. So these are all games which are released for obsolete hardware.
Yes.
So most of them will be like Game Boy, Game Boy Color, NES, Sega Mega Drive, that sort of thing.
And Amiga.
And Amiga, in the case of Roadcraft.
Yeah.
So we've got Courier. We've got the one which I can never understand how it's pronounced, but I'm going to go with Dragony. Dragonim. Maybe?
Dragonim? Yeah, that sounds about right. Dragonim. Dragonim.
Flea 2.
Yes. Yeah.
To Flea.
Fantastic.
Good Boy Galaxy, which is a Game Boy Advance title.
Yes. Yeah.
Kudzu.
Ooh.
And Roguecraft, which
Fantastic.
again is an Amiga title, and that's been really doing the rounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen a lot about. To be fair, I've seen a lot about most of these games. In fact, I think all of these games. And yeah, obviously going back to Good Boy Galaxy, for example, that's also on the Evercade. In fact, I think that's. Oh, and obviously Flea 2 will be very shortly on the Evercade as well. In the next collection. Yeah. Amazing.
That's a great category.
Yeah.
Best new studio.
Ooh.
Now this one is for the studio, and it's for any new studio that has released one game, and that game was released in 2024.
Okay.
So we've got Berserk Boy Games, who made, funny enough, Berserk Boy. We've got Halftone Gaming, Hilltop Studios, who I believe are watching. Not Suspicious, which I love that name, by the way. Slow Bros, and Whalestalk.
Whalestalk. Do you know the Halftone Gaming? Just the screenshot there. I don't know why I've got the vibe of is it Berserk back on the old. Oh god, what system is it? I know it's on the Vectrex, but it's also on Ataris. Yeah. For some reason, I'm getting that vibe. Could be wrong. But yeah, no, definitely looks it. Just from that screenshot.
Oh, definitely. No, it's definitely got a style.
Yes. Yeah.
So, number 16, Subscriber's Choice. So, this one, these are games which were submitted to us by subscribers to the magazine.
Fantastic.
And what that means is that we've had a few submissions here, which some will be because we've covered them and they liked it. Some will be because we didn't and they wished that we did. So yeah, awesome. Good mix here.
Yeah.
We've got Animal Well, which a lot of people in our Discord actually were raving about. So it sounds like there's a lot of interest in this title.
Yeah.
Gory Cuddly Carnage, Pacific Drive, which was nominated last year for the most anticipated category.
Okay.
Paper Trail, Thank Goodness You're Here, and The Plucky Squire.
That's, again, a good lineup. Oh, I've never heard of Animal Well, though. So that's interesting.
I hadn't until a few months ago.
Okay. Yeah.
It was actually the guys from Did You Know Gaming.
Really?
They were like, yeah, this is pretty good. You should check this out. So I did, and then it just happened to be submitted by subscribers too. So clearly, I'm the one that was out of the loop.
Yeah. But now you know your knowledge has expanded.
2 more.
Awesome.
Most anticipated.
Ooh.
So these are games which are not out yet, but they will be in the future.
Fantastic.
And there's a lot of anticipation regarding them. Again, this was a publicly submitted category. So we have Axis, which, by the way, I didn't know that's how you pronounced it till recently.
I didn't either.
It's like, oh yeah, that AXYZ game, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Axis.
That makes sense.
We've got Ken. We've got Crescent County. We've got Dungeon Rampage. Promise Mascot Agency. And Vaporwave Pinball.
Ooh.
And I noticed that just like through pure happenstance, coincidence, all of these have got a certain vibe to them. Pastel colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do actually, yeah, looking at that.
Isn't it? And they weren't chosen based on that. It's just that seems to be maybe a vibe that's popular at the moment. So these are games which are being worked on with that in mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were thinking about making a collage of like every game released in each year, and then seeing what the most popular color was.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
you should do that.
It was silvery blue.
Really?
Yeah.
How weird. It is weird though, isn't it? What kind of... There's obviously things that... Not impact, that's not the word I'm looking for. Kind of... There's clearly a way that... There's something that guides people towards the choice of, like, you say, colours and all that. But what is it, though? What on earth could that even be? That kind of... I guess maybe certain styles become popular, and I'm not sure, but interesting that you've even spotted that.
Yeah, no, it's been super interesting to note.
Yeah.
So our final category.
Ooh.
In case you missed it, or I See Me, as we call it internally.
Mm-hmm.
So we have A Hat in Time, which came out before we even existed. So that's really cool.
That is cool.
Little Misfortune, which I actually had the pleasure of playing a few years back. Loop Hero. Rivals of Aether.
I think it's Aether, yeah.
Sable.
Yes.
And Tinykin.
Awesome.
So, yeah, the idea with this is these are games which we didn't cover.
Okay.
In theory, it's any game which came out in the past that you feel was overlooked. I think some of these were less overlooked, if I'm honest. But these were a public vote, so that this is what the public has decided is are the 6 best overlooked games of prior to 2024. So very specific category.
And I mean, to be fair, you've got to think that obviously because we're surrounded in indie all the time, and we spend a lot of time with these games. We don't necessarily see what the consumer sees. For example, they may think a certain game hasn't had a lot of light shone on it, or hasn't had a lot of even marketing, hasn't had a lot of trying to get it into people's hands to play. And
absolutely,
yeah, and I'm guessing this is, obviously whittled down to the 6, but the 6 that people genuinely think people should be playing because they may not have even heard of it.
Yeah,
I
mean, I for example hadn't heard of A Hat in Time. I'm told that it's fairly well known, but I hadn't heard of it. Again, Little Misfortune is one that I had heard of, but definitely quite a few people haven't.
Yeah, and to be fair, I think the only one I had heard of is Sable. That's the only one. The other 5, I was not aware of. So
no, absolutely. Well, that is that's the 18 categories.
Ooh.
The remaining categories are all they're not. There's no nominees. Basically, there's just one winner, and they're decided by the panel.
Yep. And what are those categories? Are we allowed to say that? Or have you already said that?
I'm not prepared right now.
You don't have to. No, we can leave that for next week.
Yeah, let's do that.
That
sounds like a great thing to do.
That's amazing. I was going to say, so obviously next week we're going to, like you said, maybe start to reveal those categories. We're going to start going through some of the titles that actually are going to be at the event to play, to get your hands on, which is great. I think that's the great thing about this whole event is, yes, it all concludes with the awards, who has won each category, but then throughout the day, we've got the exhibition space. We've got all of those games to get your hands on that you may not have had a chance to get a hold of yet and give a go, because not all of them are out there publicly yet. And as well as that, we've got all of the talks taking place in the auditorium as well. And we will start announcing some of the guests and guest speakers from next week as well. So there's a lot to go through.
There are. There's a couple of fantastic ones.
Oh yes, yes there is.
They all are, but just for my own personal bias, shall we say?
Oh yes,
there's some great stuff.
Yeah, We've put a lot of effort into this. Not that we don't normally, but we've really gone above and beyond. So yeah, looking forward to everyone finding out what's going to be happening.
Absolutely. Well, I said we'd be 45 minutes, and we've only gone over by 1 minute and 30 seconds.
I was going to say pretty much bang on.
So we've done well this time.
Absolutely. So I take it we're going to be back here next Tuesday at 8?
Yep.
Yeah?
We'll be here.
Fantastic. Well, so you're going to be here even if I wasn't?
Yeah. I'll do it myself. No. I'll just I'll do a dramatic reading of I don't know, Evanescence lyrics or something. Do you know, to be fair, I would actually probably watch that. I actually think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Why do I feel like maybe that's something that should be on the YouTube channel? Someone's got to do it. Dramatic readings. And my camera's frozen. It has. I've just noticed that. So that is a fantastic time to... Oh, you're back. There you go. And you froze again. Computers, eh? Mate, who would do IT? Yeah. Well, anyway, with that, I will bid you all farewell. Thank you very much for joining us. And if you have any questions or queries about the awards, they can be found at debugawards.com. Nice and easy. debugawards.com. It might also be time to kind of just maybe plug the Discord as well, because obviously quite all of us are pretty active in the debug Discord. So if you ever just want to drop a query in, drop a question, there's a big community in there. If you just
you got a game you want to show people, just, there's all different areas within the Discord to get your indie fix for the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Highly recommended. It's becoming quite a fun community to be part of.
Absolutely.
If you're interested about coming to the awards, tickets are available. They are quite limited because of the space that we've been given. But yeah, if you want to check it out, then it is available, and we will look forward to seeing you there, hopefully.
But the real question is, before we go, Dan, where can you actually buy them from?
From the aforementioned debugawards.com.
Fantastic.
There's a link for tickets. Click that, and it will take you to the ticket website.
Fantastic. Cool.
There you go.
Well, there you go, everyone. That is the lineup. It's the 18 categories, and you've now all seen it. And I think we're gonna go for now, Dan. And we'll see everyone next week, right?
See you on social media.
See you soon.
Farewell.
Bye-bye.